Continuing, we go back to fiction, and the book I'm going to talk about now was written by Gavin Lyall. Now, this wasn't the first of his books that I read. My dad used to go to the public library and bring back books, and we both used to read them. And he brought back The Wrong Side of the Sky, which was Gavin Lyall's first book, and I really enjoyed it. It was had a theme of aviation, because Gavin Lyall had been an RAF pilot. He was also a very keen pistol shooter, so there's a lot of expertise on both areas in many of his books. This particular book, Midnight Plus One, is of a lot of significance to me. The theme is the main character, Lewis Kane. The book starts with Lewis Kane sitting in a restaurant in Paris, and it's got a really great sentence in it. Ask me what my wartime code name was, and I'd need a moment to remember. Broadcasted over a cafe loudspeaker in Paris, and I know immediately who you mean. Lewis Kane, codenamed Canaton, was an SOE, Special Operations Executive Officer, who was sent to France to work with the French resistance during World War II. He then stayed on in Paris working for the intelligence services before going private and becoming a consultant. In this book, he is tasked with escorting a financier from the Brittany coast to Liechtenstein, where he has to go to a meeting by a certain deadline, which is midnight plus 1 minute, and conclude a big deal. He recruits a former US Secret Service bodyguard to work with him in this task, and the journey across Europe, across France into Liechtenstein, is beset with ambushes and many other obstacles, and Lewis Kane has to resort to his old resistance network contacts to facilitate the journey. And it was the book that really got me, sparked my interest in bodyguarding, in close protection. And Gavin Lyall actually wrote another book, Blame the Dead, which has a theme of bodyguarding in it as well, and that added to it. The character in that was a former military military officer who was a bodyguard. When I was working in London on close protection, I actually we were at the Savoy Hotel looking after a chap there, and myself and another team member were standing outside and waiting for the cars, and I saw Gavin Lyall. The Crime Writers Association apparently used to have lunches in the Savoy, and he'd attended one of them. I didn't speak to him because I was on duty, and also he was with a colleague, but I would have liked to have gone to him and thanked him for the enjoyment his books had given me, and also for the fact that it was the spark really that ignited my career later in close protection. So a great book. I'll no doubt be talking about some of his others. He did a 4-book series with a character, Major Maxim, who was an SAS officer, which is also really, really good. But this is the one, Midnight Plus One, which really has a special significance for me.